as a soccer net.
That's the other thing. The soccer store. I mean, I feel like over the next couple years, there are going to be a lot of young players in the U.S. who come out and start building a little bit of a soccer fan base on an international scale.
Mm-hmm. I could see Yedlin having a little bit of a fan base.
He's very fast. Back up a little bit.
That's fast.
Yo, Cam.
Yo.
Back up a little bit.
My bad.
Can't see your face. Keep going a little bit. There you go. Nevertheless, like there was a Borussia Dortmund guy who just got signed with who just got drafted by VVB, and he's a defender, and he's 16 years old. Came straight out of the U.S.
Nice. Did not know about that.
Coming out of the woodwork. And I mean, even U.S. networks have kind of come more attuned to the soccer vibe in the United States. ESPN actually just signed a deal letting the NASL, the North American Soccer League, Tampa Bay Rowdies, New York Cosmos, those kind of teams, they're going to have them airing on 80 countries.
Really?
Yeah. That's big, like, because they're low-level international players who are coming over to the States to play for these teams, and their families want to watch them, and they kind of want to try and get a more international fan base as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
it's just such a weird topic. Like I feel like it's the reason it hasn't taken off is because there's such a stigma about it here.
Yeah.
Like I feel like by default people don't like soccer.
Yeah.
It's not even like their own opinion. They're just like, oh, no one likes soccer, so I'm not going to like soccer.
Exactly.
They don't have that exact thought process, but that's what happens.
However, I feel like nowadays with FIFA being such like a big video game, and now that like more people play FIFA than they play Madden or the MLB games in the United States, and I feel like those people are going to be the people that grow up. Those are probably 13 to 17-year-old kids learning about these players, learning about this game that they really like to watch. And then when their friends and parents tell them to go outside, why not just pick up a soccer ball? That's what we did.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like, for a quick little flashback, remember Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah.
We went and played soccer at like 11 o'clock at night in like freezing temperatures just because we could.
Exactly. And
we basically got stalked by a cop because it's such an odd thing nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. The cop stopped and he looked at us for a solid 10 minutes because why are these two kids playing soccer at a handball court at 11 o'clock at night on Christmas?
I mean, if you put it that way, it is a little strange. But
it is, but
it should be more encouraged.
But if you go to backstreet Barcelona, if you go to Amsterdam, you go to London, cop walk by.
Sure happening all the time.
Cop walk by a bunch of kids playing soccer.
So when you go that way though, like there's just kids like everywhere kicking soccer balls.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a given.
Yeah. One day, the U.S. will respect soccer. One day.
And I'm telling you, when that happens, man, employment. That's it. Builds jobs. True. I mean, listen. When I read a story about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who used to break into cars. It was actually an interview I watched. He used to break into cars for fun with his friends and steal stuff because he was on the B team on his high school soccer team. And then when he was 17 years old, they brought him up to the A team. And he started ever since. And ever since then, he's been Zlatan.
It's
the great.
Yeah, Zlatan's something else.
But it's those kind of stories that I feel like people love to hear. And you don't hear that as much. I don't know. I feel like there's not as much publicity to the backstory of an NFL player. Like, I don't know. Because, I don't know what Drew Brees went through.
But then again, do you care what Drew Brees ever did?
No.
Yeah. If you think about it, it's kind of crazy. Like, Zlatan's, We've never met him before. We've never like even been relatively close to him. Like he's literally on the other side of the world, but yet we not worship him, but
we think he's the
funny.
best, one of the best players in soccer.
Yeah.
But I don't see that with like Darrelle Revis. I don't give a I don't care what Darrelle Revis. I don't care what he was or what he is. He's a good right. I mean, he's a good. I don't even know the position anymore. Cornerback.
Yeah, exactly. But Zlatan is Zlatan.
But Zlatan's Zlatan. I want to know everything about like what the hell he does.
Don't see me going around like Breeze, like, or Manning or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. It's a work in progress. Is the way to put it. The only objection I have with soccer is that players get paid way too much money. Or players that shouldn't be getting paid that much money are getting paid a lot more money than they should be.
I agree. But that's also because of teams like Real Madrid and Bayern Munich.
I know, but like with the whole my example for that is the whole Raheem Sterling situation. Like, I understand that you're really just trying to see what you can get, but like,
just play the game.
He turned down $180,000 a week, or not dollar, but
euro
a week contracts, and that's ridiculous.
That's a lot of money.
He's 20. He just turned 20. He's good, but like, he's not that good. He's not nowhere near that good.
I agree.
Like, I can see 100,000. Like, that's kind of pushing it, but I can see it because he's been a regular player for 2 seasons, kind of, sort of, maybe 3. And yeah, it's just like, why, dude?
Jordan Henderson just signed 100,000. Jordan Henderson signed 100,000.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but Jordan Henderson's also going to be the captain next season.
And that's true, but he should be setting an example, Like Raheem, given you're the striker, but 120, I feel like that's fair.
Technically, Raheem's not even a striker. He started out as a midfielder.
Yeah, he's a center attacking mid.
Pretty sure. And then they ended up moving him towards like a more of a wing position. I don't know. Like, it's like, and same thing with like Coutinho. Coutinho's been playing amazing. If Coutinho really wanted to, he can go to Real Madrid or wherever after this season.
You know where Coutinho would fit in
signed a
brilliantly?
long-term contract immediately.
Coutinho would fit brilliantly at Barcelona.
I know. I would not be disappointed if he went.
Replacing Xavi.
I want him to be on the team so that Liverpool have more of a chance of winning the title.
Yeah.
They might actually finish top 4 this season if they win the rest of their games.
It's true. It's the end of that time of the year.
Yeah, because Man City lost today. Which I'm not too happy about. I'd rather Man U lose.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know. I don't like Man City that much either. Just because they're one of those, like, money teams,
Yeah. I feel like American sports are losing steam.
It's just like, I can't even, like, I don't know if you could force me to sit down and watch a football game, like a full football game on TV. It's so boring. So boring.
And people say the same about a soccer match, and I don't understand.
Like, I don't want to have to stop for commercials every 5 seconds, and like at least with soccer, you get to watch the game for 90 minutes straight. Well, not straight, but you know what I mean. And there's always like constant action. There's always things going on.
From the time they kick off the ball, you get to see the play. Like you get to see them play for 47 minutes, like on average.
Yeah, about.
I like also with that, it's a sport that continuously flows.
Mm-hmm.
There's always the potential that there's a breakaway. There's always the potential that something incredible could happen.
Oh yeah, anytime. That's one of the reasons why everyone watches it, hands down. But what I was gonna say is like I like how there's no reviews, like because I feel like in NFL there's a review every 5 seconds. Like they have to review everything because everyone gets so mad when they make a mistake. I like how it's just the one ref and his linesman making all the decisions because obviously he's not perfect, so there's going to be mistakes made, and that adds more drama to the game, and it makes it more exciting.
And also with that, the referee is allowed to play on. He's allowed to play advantage to a foul. That's not something you can do in the NBA or in the MLB. Well, the MLB doesn't really have that crap. In the NFL, I mean, in hockey you see it a little bit. The play advances until the other team touches the puck again.
Yeah, but I mean, I like hockey system with the power plays and all that.
Exactly, but with soccer, you can have a dirty foul, but as long as the guy got the ball off and the play is continuing down the field, the referee can put his hands up and the rest of the play keeps going. But even if 10 minutes go by, once the play stops again, he can go back to that foul and say, okay, this is where you were wrong. Here's the yellow card. The play advanced. Maybe it leads to a goal, maybe not, but it adds excitement. Like you said, it adds drama.
Yeah, and that's why hockey's I think is a good sport too, because anything can happen at any time. It's not continuous play for the whole time, but it's a lot more continuous than football or basketball. Yeah. Actually, basketball that's continuous. But.
The other thing with hockey is if you go to a hockey game, people aren't allowed to walk down the aisles until the puck stops.
Mm-hmm.
At a football game and a baseball game, people are getting up every 2 seconds.
Yeah. My friends would go to those Ranger playoff games 2 seasons ago, and they said it was one of the craziest things I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Which I can understand. I can see that being so much fun. But I don't know. Going to a Champions League final must be the absolute best time of your life.
Not even just a Champions League final. I talked to a girl who's studying in Sevilla right now. She's going to 6 Sevilla games since she's been there. When was the last time you went to 6 Mets games or 6 Rangers games or 6 Islanders games in a year?
Couldn't tell you.
She's gone to every single one in the last 6 weeks that they've been at home, which is a total of I think she's been there for 18 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Awesome.
That's incredible. She went. Another friend I know went to the Real Madrid versus who was it?
Schalke?
No. Oh yeah, it was the Real Madrid Schalke game for the Champions League. And she said that was one of the most intense games she's ever been to in her entire life. The most.
I know you don't like Schalke, but I was rooting for Schalke the whole time.
I was too.
Because I turned it on in the 75th minute because I think I was doing something else. I think I was playing your brother in FIFA. I think that's what I was doing. And then I looked at the score line, and it was 3-4, and I was like, I gotta watch it.
That's the other thing.
They almost tied it up.
That's the other thing.
The best feeling.
With a soccer game, I can turn on any soccer match, whether it's from the present time, whether it's 2004, whether it's 1967. I can turn on a soccer game and I can watch a full soccer match, even though I don't know anything about the two teams. Yeah. I can just pick a team and watch it.
When I have nothing to do, I just turn on beIN Sports because 95% of the time there's a soccer game on, and I'll just watch a soccer game just to watch soccer. Because it's not like you have to watch the best teams to watch the best goals. That can happen from any team,
It's true. It's true.
Who would have guessed Stoke City would have scored a 65-yard goal?
Nobody.
I don't know a single person that would ever make that bet before that game.
That's the thing, though. Like I said, anything could happen at any moment.
That was just the joy of watching Chelsea get scored on that way. Just, so nice. Courtois. He's 7 feet tall.
What's it gonna take? What's it gonna take for the MLS to get big?
What?
What's it gonna take for the MLS to get a full growing?
Well, it definitely needs more media. I feel more advertising, more.
Yeah.
They have good advertising, but it's only sometimes on ESPN and the MSG Sports channels,
Yeah.
And actually, they do have it on I've seen it on beIN Sports before. I'm pretty sure.
They do have a little bit more coverage nowadays. They did add last year ESPN FC. Mm-hmm. They also added Sunday night soccer for the summer. right before Sunday Night Baseball at 5 o'clock. They have an MLS match every Sunday on ESPN2. And then the 7 o'clock game is on Fox Sports. So at least they're getting a little bit of media coverage as far as like game time on air. But, if you want to watch the NYCFC games, you got to have NBA season pass. Or you got to be living in New York City. If you live in Spain, you can watch almost any Spanish game.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the MLS just needs a big name player that's still young to go. So not even LA Galaxy to some random team.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But more players are going to the MLS, which is good.
That's the other thing. The influx of foreign players into the MLS. This year we had David Villa, we had Kaká, and we had Giovinco from Juventus. Those are three big names. And
there's Frank Lampard, but he kind of
went out on it. But now next year, Steven Gerrard, Ronaldo said in 2018 he wants to come over.
Yeah.
Iker Casillas. Those are some big names. And I mean, back in 1974 when Pele came over to the New York Cosmos, people thought he was going to change soccer overnight in the U.S. But now you got 5 guys coming over in a year and a half. That's a pretty big. That's a pretty big number.
That is true.
And for all those kids who play FIFA, those are names that they like to see coming over.
Because there's no way Steven Gerrard's not going to be scoring free kicks in the MLS. Everyone's going to want to see him because they're always amazing.
It's true.
Coming from a Liverpool fan, I just have such a bias on him. I'm sorry.
I read an article that said 16,000 people watched the Copa de Brazil.
Yeah.
In Brazil on the same day. There was the Orlando City New York City FC game in Orlando with Kaká. 30,000 televisions in Brazil were turned on to the game in Orlando. Contrary to that,
he scored at the end.
Contrary to that of the Copa Brazil, that's a big number, man. That's a lot. 62,000 people showed up at the Citrus Bowl for the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big number. They had to open up the 4th deck at Yankee Stadium just to hold enough NYCFC fans for their home opener.
Yeah, when I went to that Liverpool game, the entire stadium was packed. There was not an empty seat.
Yeah.
It's proof.
I feel like it also
not that there's not soccer fans. It's just that there's no teams that are in positions where they can compete for anything besides. Well, you know what they should do? What's that competition? The Europa Cup. They should let the MLS go in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Or the Europa League, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, a lot of the teams that end up actually going for it are lower level teams,
Yeah.
Usually all the big teams just play, unless they lose everything else. They play their starters. But usually they play reserves or people that don't normally play.
You know what I think was a big triumph for the United States?
What?
When the MLS All-Star team beat Bayern Munich.
I heard about that. That's kind of crazy.
They beat them 1-0. And the Bayern Munich coach, Pep Guardiola, refused to shake the MLS coach's hand.
I heard that too.
I personally saw that as a win for America because we put them back in their place. We beat them in World War I, II, and now in their own game. So, listen.
We beat the German machine.
It's true, and I feel like that was a big milestone for the MLS. Those teams that come over for the International Guinness Cup every year. Real Madrid came over this year. Roma, I think, was here as well.
Yeah, that's why Liverpool and Man City were playing.
Yeah, and the LA Galaxy were kicked out in the first round. I feel like it takes a team to get further than that in their own country for a country to, actually care.
Yeah. Man. It's going to happen. It has to happen eventually,
It's also a healthier sport.
Yeah, I would say I'd rather, for my own livelihood, play soccer than football. Because I think it's like football, it takes 10 years off your life, statistically.
And soccer probably adds.
I don't know. You probably lose a year or two. I mean, it really doesn't matter because you can die at any time.
Listen, man,
but,
that cardio.
Yeah, but you do put a lot of stress on your body, and you do. Like, I'm talking more about injuries, you know.
Yeah, but that's for professional players. I'm talking more.
Oh, just like normal people? Yeah, definitely. Unless you get hurt.
As far as the United States goes, you have the number one problem with obesity, and soccer is the way to cure that. You gotta go run around.
What's scary? Like when you go by schools and seeing like more than a third of the kids are really pretty fat, you know.
And they all play football.
I just don't get it. Like me and you can't really relate because we can't gain weight.
That's true. I agree with that statement.
I literally haven't gained weight since like, I don't know, 10th grade.
Yeah.
But
nevertheless,
still like if I was getting like kind of chubby, I'd be like, all right, maybe I should go do something.
And playing soccer would be that something.
Yeah, like the past, I would say, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks that I've been playing, I feel amazing because I just go and play soccer. Not every day, but almost every day.
Yeah.
Like right now, I don't know if I could play tomorrow because my legs feel like noodles because I've been playing for like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah.
And I have work tomorrow too.
Listen, dude, when you get down here, we're playing soccer every night.
I'm down. I'm there. I have no objection to that. Actually, I'd be glad because I'll be like, yo, guys, you want to go play soccer? They're like, I don't feel like going outside. I'm like, what do you mean? Like yesterday, I was like, who wants to like go play soccer today? Because yesterday it was like it was the first like beautiful day of the year, and I was like, come on, let's go to Bateman and play. And they're like, Pat and them were like, no, I'm just gonna hang out. And I didn't get any response for like half of them, and I just went and played with Alex and Nikki.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Like it's really nice out. Soccer's fun. It's not like you don't get exhausted from playing soccer, you know.
I get exhausted.
Well, that's different. I'm talking about when you're playing like a match or like against other people, but when you're just kicking it around, having fun.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, exactly. Just doing free kicks and whatnot.
Yeah, and like passing it and stuff like that.
So me and my friend Josh did yesterday. We took 4 soccer balls to the field, just the two of us, kicked it on net.
Yeah. Hey, how is Josh?
He's doing good. Chilling.
Nice.
Back with his girlfriend.
Nice. Snapchat him from time to time.
Yeah.
I got to. He's gonna be my my housemate soon. I gotta be friends with him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, dude. Josh, center back. You either right mid or right wing back. Me as a center attacking mid.
If you need me to, I'll definitely play CDM. Because I got the height. I'm pretty quick. And I can pass. I mean, I have offensive ability, but
I'd rather when we practice, we'll be so good.
Defense. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Cannot wait. That's going to be so much fun playing in adult league.
Right.
I tried to do it last year, but it was really weird. Like, it was only during the winter, and it was so weird. Like, there was, like, 15 teams, and you had to apply to be on a team. And which is understandable, but it would only happen if they had a spot open on the team. Like, you can't just go and be like, hey, can I practice with you guys or whatever, and, like, occasionally play. Like, they were, like, way too serious about it. Like, I'm just like, come on, like, I just want to play. Like, I'm probably better than a quarter of the people on that team at least.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty awesome, too, that there's over 40 leagues and over 60 leagues. It gives me hope. That I can play soccer into my my older ages and still be competitive and fun.
It's the best way to stay in shape.
Because, come on, like, when I'm 40 years old, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with some 19, 20-year-old kid, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Just thinking realistically. Like, I might be in better shape than him, but he has youth on his side. I don't know. Americans just got to get out of that stigma that soccer's stupid, you know?
Yeah.
Because really, what changed it for me was just watching a soccer game, you know? Like, actually sitting there and watching Liverpool. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Flashback. We turned on that Cardiff City match.
Oh my God.
3-3.
That might have been the most intense extra time game I've ever seen. It wasn't even we turned it on. We just turned on the TV just to have the TV on, and it was there.
It was the most intense game ever.
That was probably the most intense 10 minutes of soccer. That's not all. That's a lie. But it's up there. That was an awesome match for what we saw, you know.
That's the other thing too. At the end of a soccer match, it's so easy to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like football game. 12 seconds left, 20-yard line on your side. You know, you got 80 yards to go. The hell are you going to do?
Chances of you scoring are
What are you going to do? Throw a Hail Mary? What are you going to do? Hand it to the running back? Hope to God he breaks through? You know, what do you got? Marshawn Lynch on your team. But in soccer, there's 35 seconds left. You punt that down the field, that's immediately in attacking territory, and anything can happen right there. You draw a foul and get a free kick. You get a penalty. That changes the dynamic of the game right there.
Completely. Dude, I don't know. I just feel like soccer is also a better sport just because it's been around for like a long time. They've refined it pretty well, you know?
Yeah. And that's the other thing. A lot of the changes in soccer are for the better, I feel like. I mean, obviously FIFA's been pretty corrupt lately. But
yeah, FIFA's... I don't even want to get into that.
But what changes in the NFL have been, like...
straight marketing, lobbies... like, not political lobbies, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm saying, I understand, no contact to the head. They want to stop concussions and everything like that. But a lot of the rules lately have slowed the game down because of penalties, because of just the way the game flows. They moved the kickoffs up 10 yards. They're thinking about moving them up another 5 just so every kickoff goes out the back of the end zone. They're finding loopholes just to take the kickoffs away because they feel like they're too dangerous for a game that a lot of people feel like doesn't need to be changed. But in soccer, you see foam. They added foam so that you can see where the free kick line is supposed to stand, and so the players aren't cheating. They added in the World Cup this year, since it was in Brazil. It used to be in a final game, there could be a 3-minute water break if it was 94 degrees. They lowered that down to 90 degrees, and they said if it's 90 degrees out, you can have a water break, 3 minutes, 1 per half. That's a pretty good rule. Stopping dehydration, keeping everybody healthy.
Pretty solid.
It slows the game down a little bit, but that's understandable. I mean, and that's the other thing, like...
good heat stroke.
Like...
Or running.
Yeah, it's a totally different sport, but, I don't know.
It's like with football, you get that break every couple seconds. Like soccer, that's not true, because you can, when the ball is not on your side of the pitch, you can kind of like walk around in your position.
Yeah. And
catch your breath, but still, you know what I mean.
But there's still the potential of every single second the ball coming your way.
Yeah. It's just... like, if you don't want to get hit and get hurt in football, like, don't play football.
Exactly. You know? I feel the exact same way. That's the other thing. I feel like the stigma against soccer is that you're a wussy if you play soccer, because when you get hurt in soccer, people don't think you should really be hurt because of that flopping stigma as well. But if you watch slow-mo tackles, people are getting cleats grinded up on their shins. I mean, I got stomped last night when I was playing Josh, and my shin hurts.
Mkhitaryan snapped that kid's leg in half like 2 weeks ago on the challenge. Literally, like, the slow-mo, his leg literally wraps around Mkhitaryan's, and it was so nasty. It was like, what's his name during the NCAA tournament last year?
Yeah, when he landed wrong on his foot, snapped it right in half.
And then ESPN thought it would be a great idea to show in high-def slow-mo over and over.
And then Reddit got it.
Reddit gets a hold of everything at some point.
Yeah, once it's on Reddit, though, that's it.
Yeah, it's over. But, no, yeah, I would say I feel like challenge in a bad challenge a lot more than getting tackled.
Yeah.
You know, because getting tackles more, you just kind of get the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah, and then you walk it off, but you get stomped on, like that shit hurts.
Yeah. Did you ever see that? Did I tag you in a video where it was like the commentator for Steven Gerrard when he scored that banger where he's like, "Oh, you beauty," and he like stomps on what's his name like during the game. Like,
oh yeah.
That was so funny. I'm honestly not too mad. That was like Steven Gerrard's like last Liverpool Manchester game,
right?
Because it adds some more history, you know.
Yeah, where he just stomped his leg out.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like Man U fans are gonna hate us even more, which makes it more entertaining.
Exactly. Just more drama to the sport.
Yeah, and Liverpool's gonna hate Man U even more because they're gonna be like, that's just what happens.
I feel like if we ever win the World Cup, the rest of the world has to call it soccer.
That's not gonna happen though.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's a valid argument, though. I mean, it's on our terms, correct? We win the sport for 4 years. It's like a presidency.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, they're gonna be like, no. They're just gonna be like, nah.
Yeah, I said that to a British kid once when I was playing FIFA against him, and he got really, really, really agitated. There were a couple curses in there that I won't repeat.
I don't know. I only have FIFA 14 right now because I have the PS3, and it's cool because I got Suarez back on Liverpool. But I still miss like the new mechanics.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think FIFA the video game is going to play the biggest role for kids in the US.
Oh yeah, that's FIFA what's made me like soccer, hands down. Like I knew soccer. Like I was a Liverpool fan at the time just because my dad kind of ushered me into it. But after playing FIFA, it made me like want to go watch those things in real life because it's so much better seeing someone do that stuff in real life because it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, classic example, Zlatan's bike from outside the box against England.
39 yards out.
Like, what? What? Like, that was probably the last thing that England was expecting, you know? Or the world. Like, big Zlatan moment. There's just so much emotion in it, you know? Like,
yeah.
And, like, I was going to say with the World Cup, like, there's nothing that sums up national pride like the World Cup, you know?
It's true.
Because even with the USA, like, all the USA fans that traveled all the way
we had
Brazil.
We had the most attendance out of all the tickets bought in Brazil.
Yeah, and we're America.
I guess we are closer. You know, I feel like we're not going to have that same attendance when it's in Qatar.
Yeah, but I don't even want to go to Qatar. Like, they'll just like a bunch of mean people.
Yeah, no one's going to go there. I mean, they're probably not even going to have it there anymore. I feel like once the US has the World Cup at home, it will be the biggest sport in the United States.
Apparently, they bid for it.
Yeah.
I would not be disappointed. It's like just like the fact to build your World Cup stadium, you had to use borderline slave labor. Like, you guys have so much money, you
Cam,
could
plug
literally
your
just
phone
pay
in.
people regular wages.